All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate everyone from Eastern Africa. Thank you so much. I hope we've been having a swell session with Inspiration Care Development Center. And this is my heartfelt desire that we get to a point where we have been so well trained and that we can drive a whole lot of innovative processes across Africa. Thank you so much. Please, I need a confirmation that you can see my screen that is being shared.
Yes.
All right, and I want to come on with my camera. I would like you to see my face for a little while, so that we know you can relate with someone. I don't just want it to be a pictorial screen alone. So, sharing my screen again now, I want to appreciate Mr. Dr. Lawrence Riches for this great opportunity to share my mind and the things I've been learning about innovation, especially when we talk about data-driven and decision-making process. So whatever I'm going to talk about, I want you to be able to relate to it as much as possible. And in relating to it, I also want you to think it through this way, that it's one, to build our leadership capacity. But much more importantly, after building the capacity, is for us to actually put that capacity into use in whatever field, in whatever sphere we find ourselves, such that ultimately we're building a greater system. We're building a more excellent system that can generate great results for everyone around us. I call transformation as a way in which you're not only uniquely important, but you're able to impact your social systems directly or indirectly. So the ultimate goal of this training, of this conference, of this Inspiration School of Leadership is to ensure that once we are more equipped, then we should be able to deliver more results. So as for those...
Hold on 1 minute. I want to change the network on this phone.
All right, please.
Thank you.
So, like I was saying, I said, so the goal is for us to be able to use that leadership capacity that is being built from trainings like this, so that when we all return back to our places of influence, our places of work, we're able to leverage whatever capacity development that we've gained to achieve greater results. I would like you to understand that the digital landscape that we find ourselves in this age is a disruptive landscape. We have a lot of disruptive technologies around us these days: big data, cloud computing, Internet of Things, blockchain technology, AI and machine learning. And when we say AI, we can say artificial intelligence, but I also want you to know that what we call intelligence assistant, which helps you to become better in whatever you're doing. So we have so many assistant technologies in whatever field you can imagine yourself to be. In fact, there's a common saying these days that we're all in a technology company trying to achieve a certain result. So if you're an hospital, you're now a health tech company trying to make patients better. But without data, you're just another person with an opinion. And that was Edward Deming. We believe so much in data that we trust God, but if you must come to bring any argument, all others must bring data. So data is the new oil. We've heard about that over and over, but it cannot really be used unless it is well analyzed, or maybe better still, well refined. So the goal is that, do we have ways in which data are given unexpected insights in the job we do? These are the questions that should be running through our mind as we go through this short expose on innovation, and especially data-driven form of innovation. What's your organization's biggest pain point when it comes to using data for decision making? So as I'm talking, I need you to be thinking through your organization, thinking through your community, through anywhere you have that influence. When you're leading a team, leading a people, what are your expectations about this innovation-driven data session? Are there specific tools or techniques that you love to explore more later? I'm going to tell you a couple of tools. If there's anyone that seems to catch your interest and you think, okay, I'd love to know more about this, feel free. You have a university on YouTube. You can launch on so many other course platforms where you can get yourself trained to become exceptionally better in all those things. But I would also like you to see from a systemic view why data analytics is just an arm of a big ecosystem, where if you do not integrate properly in that ecosystem, even when you have the best of refined data, it might still not generate the kind of quality results that you would expect. So I don't want us to be careful that as much as data is important, there are also some other things in the ecosystem that needs to work together integrally to be able to achieve excellent results. Other critical questions I would like you to ask, because if you ask the right questions, you will definitely get the right answers. And please, I'm just using all this as an icebreaker. And because of the pressure of time, I may have to travel a little faster, but please bear with me. Since this session is recorded, you can actually listen to the recording much later over and over. And perhaps if you have any question, you can reach out to Dr. Riches and or me directly, and we'll be able to provide excellent answers, or we'll walk through whatever challenges you have together, and we'll be able to come up with an excellent solution. So what data sources do you currently rely on for your own program, either monitoring and evaluation or design or strategic alignment? Have you explored any form of adaptive or agile learning frameworks in your project? If yes, how has it impacted decision making? How do you measure the success of data-driven decisions in your organization or industry? What areas of decision-making process would you like to make more agile through data? And then, are you aware of platforms that can give you some predictive analytics advantage or some real-time data systems that could benefit your current workflow? I'll give you a very simple example, because I know either as an operations person or as a project-based person, at one point or the other, you would have had to design a program for whatever you're doing. And much more importantly, we say evaluation is critical to every program success. So if I want to write, let me get to the next slide, which will be cleaner here. So I'll be able to write clearly for you. If I want to design a program, from the planning phase of the program, I'm already thinking about some outcomes. Then it becomes imperative that I break down these outcomes into measurable indicators. Measurable indicators. Or like we say in the world of quality improvement, you can say maybe measurable values or measures. We just call them measures. And for us, we have what we call process-based measure. We have what we call outcomes-based measure. And we have structure-based measures. And we have balancing measures, which balance between process and the outcomes. Now, if you have this gap from planning to outcomes, and you already have your critical measures in place, then that means from this point to this point, there has to be a system in place, either summatively at the end of the program or formatively in between the programs. You are able to track, are we on the pathway to success, or we are not even making any progress, or we are actually even failing. And I've seen clinical research that people have to shut down the clinical research process because the data is revealing poor outcomes. And this is better because you save more lives early on. But if you're actually advancing, you want to know what are the factors that are responsible for the good success. And if you're not really making any progress, you want to know what are the reasons why we're not making progress. There are other things we could do that would alter the course in which we're going. So looking and thinking through this whole scenario, I want to start a journey for 2025. By December 2025, I want to have 10,000 followers on my social media page. Then if you're currently at 100 followers, then that means you need 9,900 followers. So your indicator or your value or your measure is already predefined, number of followers, and you're using absolute number. So by the time it's January, formatively, I want to evaluate. Do I have 1,000 followers yet? If I don't have 1,000 followers by the end of January, then something is already wrong with whatever system I'm putting in place. So if I'm going to create interventions at different points, I also want to track them with data. So it can be as simple as just the process of personal growth. Okay, I want to read 52 books every year. That means 1 book per week. Then you have indicated a measure. That means you're pursuing to complete a single book per week. And data can be as simple as that. So when we say innovation-driven data, we're referring to advanced data collection, analysis, and application techniques that generate insight into what we're doing. And to make it simple, I want to, as much as possible, break this down. I know you have access to this slide, so you can read through the complex grammar there. But what will make it simple to you is that when we say people are creative, we're talking about people who have the ability to sit down and create new and potentially valuable ideas. But you see, creativity does not lead to commercial wealth. Innovation does. Innovation is the process of transforming these ideas into commercial reality. That is, the art of testing, doing a proof of concept on the idea, measuring, learning, sharing, and bringing that idea to the market. Very simple example, Mayo Clinic. Another example, Amazon, JP Morgan, General Electric. I just listed this and I will explain them further in the next slide. For Mayo Clinic, we have this predictive analytics method where after gathering all patient record on the EHR, you can actually analyze based on the medical history of a people. Imagine if I have data of 10,500 Caucasians. I can see the medical history and come up with a graph that will show me the trend of flu throughout a year, the pattern of flu infection throughout a year. And if I know that during school resumption at fall, around August, September, October is when the peak of flu comes up, then what do I do as a leader? I simply make sure around that time, vaccination is increased. Or maybe some months prior to that time, vaccination level is increased. So that's a capacity to predict just because of the evaluation of data of patients on EHR. If I'm a physician and I see cardiology cases, and I notice that a certain period of the year, the average blood pressure of my patient rises. From analysis, the analysis can be as simple as Excel analysis. I will get there and I'll show you some different tools, from simple tools to complex tools, right? So it could be as simple as that. So if we're thinking about how do we become innovative, how do we have the capacity to predict and then create value from that prediction, and at the end of the day, we would still be 100% correct, then we would be willing to analyze data. And if we analyze the data properly, integrating them together, we'll be able to make more futuristic decision making. Imagine General Electric putting sensors on their machines. I've been privileged to use some GE machines, from ultrasound to CT scan to MRI machines in the past. And I know these machines have software that auto-load themselves, so they know when there's a maintenance that is due, they know when the next software is available, and then to auto scan themselves. So with this, it minimizes downtime. It even knows when your current runtime during the day is, and so when software upload or update wants to happen, it doesn't happen during your normal runtime, thereby increasing the operational reliability of the machine. JP Morgan is one of the greatest banks in the United States. If you want to pride yourself as having a solid bank account in the US, you'll be talking about Chase Bank. It's one of the great banks. They've employed big data analytics to detect fraudulent activity. Let me give us a very relatable example. Imagine you're living in Nairobi all your days, like you've always been in Nairobi, so all your transactions have always been in one area of Nairobi. So tomorrow morning, you now wake up, you're traveling to Mombasa. If you're going to Mombasa and on your way, let's say you're driving and you have to pass through a city and you use your ATM card in another city aside from Nairobi, the AI platform would trigger that your card is being used in a region that is not the normal area. Someone on the back end who is a fraud analyst would sit down and look through your data and see that for the past 10 years that you've gotten this ATM card, you've always used it in Nairobi. Why is the card being used on the way to Mombasa? Now, it will track the transaction for a couple of days and see if, okay, consistently, there was no phone call made. The second part is, okay, the person paid for gas along the line, paid for hotel bills in Mombasa, then that already signals a directioning, showing in real time that, okay, it's not impossible this person is not traveling to this point. So I'm saying this, that with data, you can actually pick and understand customer behavior. Amazon explains this perfectly well. They track your purchase history, your browsing pattern, your market trends. Facebook does the same thing. Every platform that you would currently be visiting now has an analytics backend. Don't understand that. I have an analytic backend. Even my YouTube page has an analytic backend. I know the countries where my video is being watched the most. And I can analyze and tailor-make my videos towards people from that country. If I want to increase the viewership of my people in Nigeria to see more of my YouTube videos, then I need to adapt my editing, adapt everything I do towards Nigerians. He can also show me the social demographic data, the age range. As of today, I know that the highest people who see my video are between age 34 and 50. And relatively, understandably, they could belong to my generation. And so they could resonate with what I'm saying the more. So with that, I understand the mind of the people I'm speaking to the most. What are the advantages of data in decision making? And more importantly, for businesses. Advanced data analytics will do three things for you. It can help you cluster and classify, that is, group data together based on shared characteristics and common things, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and different statistical modeling platforms are available for that. The second thing it can do after clustering and classifying data for you is to ensure that you are able to prescribe some analytics, some recommendation, so that you can achieve some desired outcome. But more importantly, that everyone would love to have is the predictive capacity of data to drive innovation. Don't forget, there are three levels to innovation, and maybe this would help you clearly understand the concept of innovation. The first one is the disruptive form of innovation, which is a complete shift, a radio to a television to the internet. Those are disruptive technologies. You can see the way it's going now. We have paper currency, we have digital currency, and now we're having blockchain technology. Those are complete disruption. Imagine the jump from harvesting ice to building a community refrigerator system and to having a full personalized refrigeration in your home. Those are disruptive. You could also add what we call sustaining innovation. Sustaining, all these are by Clayton Christensen, late Clay. So sustaining innovation, which is an improvement on the quality of, now we have the internet, but we have different Gs. You move from 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G, and maybe we're now an ultra 6G or something. That is sustaining an innovation. Maybe in another generation, they'll move away from the internet and they'll move to something else. If they move to something else and they keep improving that in that sustaining innovation. So the world has so many vehicles, but we've improved those vehicles over time. That's sustaining an innovation. But we also have the third one, which is called efficiency innovation. Efficiency innovation is the one that cuts time and cuts the energy in which things are being achieved. So if you're thinking about innovation and you're thinking about data analytics, you're looking at the way in which data can either help you disrupt your business environment, improve sustainability in your environment, or increase efficiency in your environment such that it improves cost, it improves maybe the time that you spend, or it even reduces the energy expended. So I bring to you two examples, Visa card. And I just use the credit card example. To be able to track fraud, they need real-time analytics of data of people, where you're located, the common ATMs you always use, and all those places. And if you have to travel and use your card on another platform, it will be tracked. And all those timelines will be monitored through a Visa neural network model. The other one is Siemens. Siemens employ advanced analytics for analyzing their sensor data to predict equipment failure. This would explain it further. I've explained how healthcare industry, retail industry, and automobile industry works. The essence of innovation-driven data and decision-making process is to improve accuracy, enhance efficiency at work, improving our predictive capability. Now, I brought you this picture to explain what I've been talking about better. I sniped this from the picture of the phone on my car. This is Internet of Things, guys. So the world has gotten to the point that we can put some sensors on your person, or even on your gadget, or in your house. You have a smart home, a smart hospital, a smart system, where at every point your car can communicate with you anywhere it is. I can be in Lagos, Nigeria. My car can be in Washington, DC. It will tell me the fuel level in the car. It will tell me the estimated rate the car will travel. I can ignite my car from anywhere in the world as long as there's internet connection. I can lock it, I can unlock it, I can do a climate stop, I can cause it to play on. It will tell me the exact location if I want to know it. It will tell me the scheduled services that are needed. This is sensor built into a communication module that communicates the tire pressure, the GPS sensor, temperature gauges. It communicates that module to a data processing unit, which is usually cloud-based now. And then with that analytics, I can have an interface on my phone. I snap these two pictures from my phone to show you. So what I'm saying in essence is that for your organization, if you're building anything, then you need to build that analytics platform to be cloud-based, such that from your palms, you will be able to pick data in real time. I also bring you another example from two other car making companies. We have a BMW and Honda Accord here. You could see different interface pages of what it feeds back to your phone. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that the dashboard is no longer limited to the dashboard of your car. Even your phone application can now be a dashboard. And from your phone, because of data integration and communication and based on the Internet of Things, you can actually communicate with your vehicle, but all these things are based on accuracy of data that is being fed in. So you can see this telling you the 80% oil life from the car. This is a good measure because by the time this is dropping to 30%, you know your car is due for servicing. This tells you the odometer on the car. This tells you the state of the car if it's locked. So this tells you this is an electric vehicle. And so this is the state of charge of the car. It's 60% charged and it can only travel 151 miles. So the meaning of this is that you need to get a charging station within the range of 100 miles. This is predicting, telling you ahead of time, your fuel life is your state of battery charge for this car, for this BMW series, will not take you beyond 151 miles. So you need the charging point ahead. So this is the advantage of using innovation to drive whatever we do. Now let me come down to how did we start the journey to the point where we now got to the complexity of Internet of Things, advanced machine learning. We started from basic Excel. We started from basic Google Sheets. We started from basic Tableau. And these are the interfaces we got from basic Tableau. This is a Power BI dashboard that shows you the sales in a month, the sales order in the pie chart, the regions of the world where major sales comes from. It shows you a great deal of things on your screen. You can actually pre-populate this even on your phone now. You also have a Tableau UI that shows you different sections and interference changes in shipment details and consumer, both for consumer, for corporate, and for home offices. So with this understanding now, we did not jump or lead. We actually went through a process. And so what I'm showing you this is that if you have a small hospital, you can start with basic Excel. You can gather data. If you have an electronic health record system, you can get to the back end and download data every month and then run a lot of analysis on it. You can use your pivot table to analyze in Excel. You can use several descriptive and data models on the top bar in Excel, and then start creating some data visualization concept gradually. The same thing goes to Google Spreadsheet and Tableau. And if you want a medium scale complexity, you can come to Power BI. Just get someone to write you the code to be able to get all these on your dashboard once and for all. And all you just need to do is to change the data. Once you change the data, the dashboard orientation will change. I'm currently in the United States and I have businesses in Nigeria. And every day, every morning, all I need to do is sit down on my system and check my portal interface and check my Google Spreadsheet interface. And I get all the data I need to get. I've pre-configured everything with a written formula on the back end for the Google Spreadsheet. So once any figure is changed on one column, it changes the percentage, this thing that I have on my dashboard. And that's how I've been running the business. I've been out of the country for about 6 years now. So that's to tell you the power of data analytics. So if you want more complex data analytics application, then you would want to jump to Python, Apple programming, Chain, Snowflake, and the one the world is screaming about now is the Microsoft Databricks. You would want to get this. These are a bit more expensive, more complex to manage, but depending on the scale of what you're doing in your organization, then you would think through which one would be able to help you. But most importantly, for us on the business side, we want a visual board, a visual page on my UI that I can see. And so maybe for most of us, we're not so IT deep that we really don't want to concern ourselves with the writing of the codes on the back end. So all you need to do is get a team of people who pre-configure this platform for you. So I have a team of guys who could write several Python, SQL queries for you. All you just need to do is come to the user interface, click what you need to click, and get the details on the UI. And then you can, in your conference room, in your meeting room, be able to make critical and crucial decisions based on data. Perhaps if you now have some critical question like, okay, so what will happen in 2 months? Then you're thinking about predictive. Or if this happens in 2 months, what do you think we can do? Then you're talking about prescriptive. And then what has happened in the last 8 months? You're talking about analysis of the past. You're trying to do some retrospect. And then you're trying to use those analysis of data you have in the past to be able to predict the future. So what complex data analytics apps are listed on the screen. Okay. Opportunities for the future. Crucial opportunities for the future is that whatever platform you use must be cloud-based. So if you can pay for the Excel that will be on OneDrive, that would be great. Otherwise, I would recommend maybe the Google Spreadsheet, which is free. You can manipulate that. You can use it for your inventory-based organization, healthcare, finance, just name it. And with this, everyone you give access to can co-collaborate on the platform, and you have a log, audit log for you to track the details. We also have different AI platforms that you can integrate with whatever software you're using. So you can buy access into ChatGPT, several Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and you can leverage the AI platform to do data cleansing, different transformative tasks that you want. Trust me, the codes that you need someone to write, AI can actually write those codes for you, integrate it into your system, and generate the result for you. And then I've explained the Internet of Things. This is more at a more complex level. And then blockchain for data security and data integrity. Continuing that, data virtualization, self-service analytics. You can read more details because of our time. Then we have the natural language processing. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see a conversation that is going on between two people. All I needed to do was I picked a chapter from my book and I uploaded it, and I gave them an instruction. I gave Google an instruction. It's an experimental AI platform on Google. I gave them an instruction that discussed this chapter with the mindset of a transformational leadership course. And if you listen to the conversation, you will be amazed how, with natural language, with understanding of the way humans think, it's able to bring up a conversation. And then I also have built bots before, where you send in the short code, the bot communicates back to you, asks you some few questions, is able to extract your medical details, and even sometimes is able to help you track your medication, where your medication is at, if it's been sent or not. So I've built several conversational AI platforms before, leveraging AWS platforms to be able for you to understand how detailed this data analytics processes is being, and how innovative they can drive your system, especially if you're a CEO and you're thinking about expanding your organization and you just want a conversational AI platform that can send SMS, receive SMS, and communicate appropriately. Most of us are now to speak with a machine, or maybe when you're calling an organization. These are conversational AI platforms that uses the data of what everyone, over 1 million people have said in the past, analyzed it. And so by the time you are talking, it's just matching it with whatever is in the database or in the data lake, and is able to bring you response in real time. And if at any point you become annoyed and you insist that I want to speak with a human agent, then it passes you on to a human agent. Yeah, I'm 3 minutes on time. And within that 3 minutes, I want to show you that data analytics is just one arm of a whole complex ecosystem. Like I said from the beginning, the most important thing for you as a business person is to develop a well-defined digital strategy and make sure that your organization is an organization that supports the culture of innovation. So how do I mean? You need to continuously scan your environment and do a solid SWOT analysis of your organization and your positioning in your business environment. So it's a different thing for you to be the best organization in your neighborhood. Let's say I'm a private hospital operating out of Nairobi. I have 10 other solid, better hospitals than me. So what can I do to make sure I position myself better? So then I need a clear SWOT analysis. I now need to define what will be my strategic edge that I will use to outwit the remaining 10 hospitals. But within my culture, within the people I have, I must create a just culture that supports innovation, that encourages creativity, risk-taking, and I must be ready to allocate resources to drive that creativity. Then build a collaborative and agile nature in the organization that is resilient. So this will go a long way, that if you now introduce your data analytics platform, it would integrate with this process. But if you just go and spend money on Microsoft Power BI, but you still have people who will not embrace a new platform, then you would have wasted money. And that's where they talk about digital transformation failure. I don't want you to run into that trap. You must prepare your people ahead of the platform. You must redefine and redesign your processes ahead of the platform. So people first, process next, then you now build a technological platform that will fit in perfectly into your business environment. I repeat, people first, process next, and then the platform that will integrate perfectly. Then you can now invest in training and capacity development. So as I wrap up, finally, establish a clear goal, invest in technology, build data governance structure for your security of data, because that's crucial, and encourage collaboration. If you continue to encourage collaboration internally and internationally, then that will give you an excellent positioning. Thank you so much for listening. You can reach me through this contact details on your screen. Thank you.
Maybe probably just give room for 1 or 2 questions. And if the time, you can just reconnect just for 1 or 2 questions.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, team.